And welcome to an Eternium video. All I'm going to do today is give you my initial rambling thoughts on the changes to drops within trials. There's certainly at the moment a lot of angry players out there, and a lot of them are showing their displeasure on the forum. I can imagine Discord as well is a bit of a hot mess, although I quit both back in July last year, so I can't really say for certain. So what is it that people are upset about? If you're a new player, nothing. For a few months, new players have been receiving worse drops than the old accounts when they're running trials, and a few days ago Dream Primer had finished doing their testing and decided to move everyone onto the lower quality drop position. So the good news is that we're all on the same page for the same drops. That's really upset some people. Am I upset? Am I going to quit because of it? No, not in the slightest. I'm going to run through my reasons for this and some of the arguments that people are making and why I think actually all they've done is rebalance the game slightly and we're not in a bad position, and it's nowhere near as world ending as people are panicking about at the moment. So there's claims, as always will be in this situation, that it's just a cash grab, and that the only way that you can get materials now is through crates for gems, and that only people with deep wallets can do that. Personally, I don't think that's true. Any AMB event, the top end of the leaderboard, you'll have a handful of players that are spending tens of thousands of gems on crates and probably on gemstone packs as well. They're easy to spot. They'll have 3, 4, 5 level 77 items. They'll have perfect crafted jewellery. If you couldn't compete with them before, you still won't be able to compete with them. If you were able to compete with them before, nothing's changed. You're in exactly the same position still. Again, there's talk that it's just a cash grab because advertising revenues went away last year. I don't think that is quite as significant a factor as people think. Advertising revenues generally are pretty low, certainly on a per advert viewed click. So I think within something like YouTube, 1 million advert views is something like just over £1,000. It's not a massive amount of money. So I doubt that advertising revenue is a significant factor for Dream Primer. And I doubt it was even when we were farming 51 adverts a day. Yes, they've taken a bit of a hit when they removed adverts, but I don't think it's anywhere near as significant as people say. So do I think people are going to spend more money now? Possibly. I think some people are going to pay a bit more. And offsetting that, I think some people are going to quit or stop paying. I think it's going to be either they'll offset themselves or it'll be a very small increase. I can't see it being a financial drive as to why they've made this change. So why make that change then? And my view is looking at a longer view of the history rather than what we've had over the last 6 months. So before we had belts, bracers, trinkets, massive power creep. So I would like to look back to the farming situation exactly 1 year ago, so this time last year. Let's have a think. Back then, top mage build was Arcanist for pushing, ELR, which I always play, that was equal, if not slightly better, up to trial 90. 1 year ago, I did all my farming on Kindle. Clearing trial 90 took 60 seconds roughly on average. I combine my EXP farming with materials farming, so in a 60 minutes of experience boosters I'd get 60 clears of trial 90. If I go on my Kindle today with belts, bracers, trinkets, all sorts of things, trial 90 is about 40 seconds. So in my 60 minutes of an EXP booster, I'm looking at 90 clears in that time. So we've got about a 66% quicker run, and I'm getting a third more runs. Bo has also done some preliminary analysis. He's got some limited data. He reckons we're getting about 65% of the amount of greater essences than before. To me that's interesting, because that suggests that what we have is the amount of materials that we get from salvage has merely rebalanced back to exactly what it was 1 year ago. So we've had a good 6 months where I think it's been too easy. Something like AMB bronze, you sit there and it's a struggle to use all 12 hours because you've got all the materials, you've got all your champion levels. You've hit champion level 2000 and you've still got 6 hours on the clock. It's like, ooh, well now what? So putting the position back 12 months on materials means that you're going to spend longer within an event to get to that position. That doesn't mean that's the death of the event and that you can't compete. I certainly remember being able to compete 1 year ago. I think everyone was able to. Anyone playing that amount of time should remember what their experiences were. I think that's all we're going back to on that front. So when I look at it that way, no, it's definitely not the end of the world. It's not a signal that the only way to compete in A and B is with my wallet, and that's never going to happen. So it's just back to where we were, and that is all I think I will have to say on that. There are some rather bizarre claims and things going on in the forums. There's one that I want to address, so I'm going to pull that up now. I've removed the poster's name out of respect. I don't want to call anyone out. When I used to be on the forum, they used to correct me quite a lot. This is my revenge, but I'm not going to say who it is. But it's to do with gemstones, and I have a lot of data on that. Okay, so on the forum, this comment, I'm hiding people's names because I don't want to call them out. This comment is wrong, so don't be upset. Gemstone drop rates from trials are not nerfed. It's trial 35 plus has always been 4 gemstones. Below trial 35, 7 to 34 drops 3 gemstones. Trials 35 to, I think it's about 127 or 128 will drop 4, then it goes up to 5. That's just on regular running a trial, and we can go and prove that right now. So there's a lot of people panicking, a lot of angry people, and there's some wild accusations going out there. This one is definitely incorrect. I have trial drop data for gemstones for trials 7 to 104 for base values, the 100% gemstone drop, 200% gemstone drop, 400% gemstone drop. Prior to the change, I have that same information for war supplies events, all 4 data points, and also for AMB bronze and AMB silver. So let's just go and prove that that's not correct, and we can safely stop worrying about this one. Okay, so we'll take Wispy, I think, for our gemstone drops, only because I have experience booster running on Lily Wisp at the moment. So to check gemstone drops, they have always been 3 from trial 7 to 34, and then 4 from 35 plus. So what I shall do is take Wispy here. We'll go run trial 34, and we'll see that we get 3 gemstones dropped from this. I would reply on the forum, but it means remaking an account, and I quit that back in July on account of it took up far too much of my time, that and Discord. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, which is what we expect at 34. So I'm going to drop those into here with these ones. And then we'll run to 35, and we should see 4 from Kara, which is exactly as it's always been. I think my PC's doing updates. I shouldn't be getting this sort of performance on such a low trial. Really? So 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly as predicted, exactly as it's always been. So nothing to worry about there. Gemstones not nerfed. I doubt gold is nerfed either. I think it is a rebalance only of the amount of materials that we get from running trials, which means that in terms of amount of gameplay, we've merely gone back to where we were prior to massive power creep. And finally, I will keep comments open for this video. If you want to discuss it, or you're going to argue about it, be civil, be polite. I do moderate my comments section. If people start getting offensive and throwing slurs around, expect to see your comments deleted. And if you get too offensive, expect yourself to get hidden on the channel. But I think people are capable of having rational debates on this, so feel free to ask me any questions you've got down below, and as always, have fun playing the game.